So you are being recorded. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Wait, is he playing the ex-cop?
No, sorry, force of habit.
TRF podcast?
Yeah. TRF, yeah.
Oh, okay. Why are they in a square?
So, just visuals of the icon always goes to it.
So they don't escape one around the page?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there you are.
All right.
Oh,
Oh, we can't agree with that.
we don't endorse that.
Yeah, where are you going?
It's only Will Smith. I mean, come on.
It's two Will Smiths.
All right.
Oh, that's true. 2 for 1.
Double Will Smith.
All right, you're live.
All right.
Okay.
Easter, you're in charge of doing intros still.
Yeah, I can't shake it. Hello, and welcome to the Redacted Files podcast. We are playing Fear Itself.
Live from Big Bad Con.
Yes, live from Big Bad Con. And now I can't edit that out.
Yep.
You talking over me, I can. Anyway,
They're recording multi-track, so you could fix it.
assuming I were to work off of the multi-track. So this is Acer, and I'll be playing Doug Fuentes, a director and lead researcher for, what's the show called?
I don't remember what I named it.
Oh.
You guys get to name your show.
Oh.
It's a show about true crime in real time on YouTube. You're going to be the
Maybe
next serial.
Maybe that's it. True crime in real time.
Oh.
Oh,
True crimes in real time.
there you go. I will say that the title was not my. I did not come up with that title. No, that was not me.
Well, no, we call it TCRT.
Yeah.
Well, it's a better hashtag. So, around the table we have.
Peter, I'm playing Kenny Balmer, our fearless cameraman.
I'm Veronica. I'm playing Adelaide Dubois, which is the team's forensic expert.
I guess I should introduce myself too. I shouldn't let everyone else do it. I'm Megan. I'm going to be your GM.
And I'm Gennaro, and I'm playing Jeffrey Huang. I'm a private investigator. I'm hired to help dig up dirt for the team.
All right. So, like I said, everyone here is part of the True Crime in Real Time YouTube TV show, which is trying to get its start. There's a lot of competition for true crime out there right now. Not as much on YouTube. It's really saturating the podcast industry, though. So you are going to be the first on the scene for this series of crimes you've heard about in middle of nowhere, Nebraska, a little town called Golden. There has been, over the last 6 months, a string of murder-suicides, and they're super violent. They don't seem to be provoked by anything, and it's starting to catch, local news, because it's really weird that there's so many murder-suicides here in Golden.
All right, so my money's on a cult, and cults are really big right now. And those podcast folks, they have a lot of production values behind them, but we have GoPros.
I'll bet you $20 it's drugs.
It can be both. It can be both. Why can't it be both?
It could be a drug cult. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
So, we just have to keep a low profile, make sure the locals don't figure out that we are filming them for the internet, and I think we should be good.
That's where the GoPros come in. They just look like headlamps or something.
We're travel travel bloggers.
Okay.
It's like a body cam on your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys tell me where the camera needs to go. The camera will be there.
So how much money did we have to buy a real camera?
Well, it depends on how much you are paying out of pocket. The show budget was $300.
Oh,
I don't know what a good budget for a camera is, but that seems like it's low.
that seems very low.
You could buy a GoPro with that, right?
The
One?
one
Okay.
from last year. I believe the going rate's like 400 for the current normal.
You're not making serial money yet, so.
Yeah, as in we can't afford cereal.
Just consider it an investment.
Yes, we're spending money to make money.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I keep telling people when they ask about those credit card payments.
All right, so you have a budget camera that Kenny is in charge of. Anything else you're bringing with you to Golden?
I've got my kit with me.
Okay,
Standard medical tools.
excellent.
I have the same computer that I used in college.
Does it have a lot of stickers on it?
Yes.
I probably have a backpack with just a smattering of sort of electrician's tools, certain components for AV equipment.
All right.
Just bring my go bag and my 9mm, just in case.
A trench coat.
Nah, you kidding me? Come on, it's really noir.
All right, so there's not very many places to stay in Golden. It currently has a population of, I have this written down so I can be consistent, 768 people.
Before or after the murders?
This is before the murders. It's the number on their Welcome to Golden population, 768 when you drive in. So that number is lower currently.
So the juvenile delinquency rate must be low. No one has crossed that number out and written something else in its place. Does this state have reciprocity with your concealed carry laws wherever you're from? Wait, why did I ask that? Never mind.
Hey, you're not supposed to ask about that stuff.
Yeah. Never mind. Never mind.
Didn't want to know.
So the Golden Motel is a faded yellow building. There is a pool. It is empty though. It has the entrances on the outside, so it's like 2 stories, and then there's the second story with the little metal fence. The owner is grumpy as you come in, but she's happy for the business.
Is there ice?
No.
Is there Wi-Fi?
No.
What kind of place is this?
It's hell.
Oh my God.
Are our phones at least working?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Is it 3G?
Yes.
Oh no.
This is hell.
Do they have a Denny's?
They have a Denny's, they have a McDonald's, and then they have a local diner called Shane's.
Okay. No. Not that backwards then.
All right, so I'm going to leave this up to you.
Do we want to check into the hotel first?
It sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
I will try to negotiate a better rate on the basis that we will be here at least a week.
At least a week. Do you have something that you're going to spend for this?
Negotiation.
All right. It's a 0 point spend. She will let you pay for a week, but you have to pay the whole amount now. But she'll give you a better rate.
Sounds great. I'm sure we will be around for the entire week, as will this hotel.
How many rooms are we getting?
How many people are on the team? 8?
There's 8 people on the team. It depends on whether or not you think the intern deserves a room of his own.
Could sleep in the car. Come on.
Yeah.
He's got
Part
to
of
guard,
the
We're going to like
experience.
2 rooms.
he's got to guard the equipment
I like that.
and the van.
So you are taking up most of her hotel. There is only one other guest here at the moment.
Oh, are they at the bar, or is there a bar?
It's closed.
a very dismal picture you're painting, Megan.
They serve alcohol at Jane's at night.
You wonder where Fuentes is, and he is across the street at James. There's one of those Fuentes-shaped dust clouds that just left where he was.
All right. So I guess I should tell you what you know about the murder-suicides. They started 6 months ago at a church picnic. A woman named Brenda Smith killed 3 people: Vivian Grossley, Jake West, and Tom Matthews. And then she began bashing her head against a tree until she died. About 5 months ago, Reverend Michael Edgar and Nancy Donaldson, the church secretary, a parishioner, are killed by George Barton, another parishioner who had been talking to him about the church budget. The church secretary, Laura Blake, was able to hide before he impaled himself on a tree branch. About 4 months ago, Officer Heidi Baker kills her boyfriend, Victor Thompson, in the supermarket by smashing his head with a freezer drawer. And then she killed Sydney Terrace before another shopper, Roger Hart, grabbed her gun and shot her with it. 3 months ago, Roger Hart committed suicide, and then Laura Blake, the church secretary, drove her car into oncoming traffic, but she didn't manage to kill anyone. She was hospitalized and vomited until she had a seizure and died. 2 months ago, Art Foster kills Bart Klein in the local diner. He walked into traffic. And then 1 month ago, Dr. Yvonne Stevens killed Vera Newsom, who is the mayor's sister. She hit her with her car and then drove into a wall. And those are all the deaths that are of note the past 6 months.
Do we have records of this, like in a laptop or print a copy? Or?
They mostly were reported in the local paper, which is the Golden Gazette, which is mostly an online almost blog now. It's sort of fallen from where it used to be.
Do they still have an actual office?
They do not. It seems like it's being ran out of the owner's home.
Oh, who's the owner?
The owner is... I wrote these all down somewhere. George Hall.
So, what time is it when we arrive in town?
It is about noon.
It's time for a liquid lunch.
Sound like a bad idea.
Yeah, I'll drink to that.
Is there a medical examiner with the local police?
There sort of is.
Do they just contract that out?
Or just not do autopsies?
The Dr. Bernard Stevens, who you were able to find out is Dr. Yvonne Stevens, a widower, sort of has been doing the local autopsies. There used to be a mortuary here, but it shut down about 7 years ago. The other thing you see in the news is that Golden used to be much bigger, about 20,000 people, until about 10 years ago when there was an ergot blight that hit their fields. And they haven't been able to grow anything here since. So a lot of people started leaving the town about 7 to 10 years ago as their fields stopped producing crops.
All right, I'm on board. Drugs. They started growing drugs.
I agree.
Run drugs?
Let's toast on it.
Not the cult? It's a cult on drugs.
I think I will skip the liquid lunch, and I'm gonna go see if I can find the doctor.
You're no fun.
I think we will try to talk up any locals at Jane's.
I think that's a fine idea.
All right. So I guess we'll go with liquid lunch first. Jane's is. All right. Too many notes. Jane's looks like a traditional 50s diner. Jane herself runs the front of the restaurant with her husband in the back. There's like one busboy, but that's it for the staff. So she's like, has really obviously permed hair. It's like a bottle blonde color. She's in her late 50s, early 60s. And she's very happy to welcome you into the diner. She'll give you a great seat at the counter, unless you guys want to sit somewhere else, because she can chat with you more there. She wants to hear all about you.
What do you say, boss?
We are here to write about Golden and get some video and hopefully tell your town story. I would like a shot of your finest, cheapest bourbon.
I think those things are a little exclusionary.
Maybe if you're not creative enough. Or, imaginative enough. Or drunk enough.
There you go. I'll drink to that.
Finest, cheapest whiskey. Would that be like taking the really expensive whiskey and doing like a quarter shot and then filling the rest up with vodka?
Oh.
Ugh.
He's not gonna drink that, is he?
No. No.
I'm just curious how you the finest, cheapest.
You just, a little bit from the top shelf, and then a little bit from the thing that
All right.
probably came out of the barrel yesterday.
She'll dilute it with other whiskey then.
Usually that's not blend your own.
No.
What do you got on that? What do you got up there? The one with a nice bottle. How about that?
All right. Let's see. She has what's a good? Oh, Stella Artois is what she has.
Stella Artois?
That's the fancy beer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll try one of those and chase it with whatever bourbon you have available.
All right.
I was just thinking that her finest and cheapest bourbon was the same bottle.
Well, we've established you have vodka, so how about a vodka and an energy drink? And I don't mean a cocktail. I mean a shot of vodka, make it a double, and then an energy drink in the can.
All right.
It's important stuff. We're trying to get investigating done here.
Yeah, you gotta fuel up. She will bring you all your drinks and then like push the menu towards you because you need to eat something with all that alcohol you're consuming.
Oh, yeah. The blue plate special,
All right,
meatloaf and mashed potatoes.
perfect.
That sounds like enough calories to survive the day.
It's a good working man's meal. What about for Kenny?
Fries will be fine for me, thanks.
All right.
That should soak up the vodka.
It's a circle.
Just potato in all its forms. All right. So I'll let you guys work on digesting your booze. And Adelaide, you are able to find the, let's see. You'd think I named them all with golden in them so I could remember what they were. Golden Urgent Care. Dr. Stevens is just locking up for the day.
Perfect. Then I'm sure he can sit down and talk with me a bit.
He'll give you a smile. It's a little weary, and he says, do you need to see a doctor?
No, I was hoping actually I could have a moment of your time. We're here to do some writing and YouTube video actually about Golden. We're really interested in the town. And I thought maybe you could give us some background on, I'm assuming you've been here for a while and you've got some connections.
Oh, well, yes, I'm the doctor for most of the people in town, and except for the ones that decide to drive out to the other cities. So I suppose I do know most of the people here. I'm afraid we're not that interesting.
Perhaps I buried the lead a little. I was particularly interested in some of the events that have happened over the last 6 months.
I guess I should have seen this coming. It's not a thing I like talking about too much.
Understandable, and I don't want to overstress you. I don't want this to be an emotional burden, but I'm hoping that if you can't give me any details yourself, maybe you have some medical records I can look through. I am actually trained in this. I'm not just off the street. Went to Tulane even.
Oh, well, that is very impressive. I'd need you to get permission from their families before I can give you the medical records, though.
Oh, I'm sure that our producer got all of those releases signed. I can get you copies. Is there a way to get those? Maybe before I can get you the copies, they're off at lunch.
Oh. You can give me a spend to get the clues or the lists without actually showing him the copies, if you have a interpersonal skill that you think would work well for this.
Can I give him a reassurance that I promise that we've gotten those releases, and or we will make sure that we're not abusing anybody's records or using anything that we don't have consent for.
All right, yeah, he will open the door, unlock it, and take you in. He won't leave you alone with the records, but he'll let you look through them.
Awesome. Was that a 1 point spend?
Yeah. The records he has for the last two deaths, his wife and Mrs. Newsom, show that Ms. Newsom died almost instantly. She had a crushed pelvis and acute internal hemorrhaging, so she was hit by Dr. Stevens, his wife's car. Dr. Stevens had a concussion. She had some cranial trauma that wasn't explained by the collision, but the weird thing that they found was that she didn't have any signs of intoxication. There was no drugs or alcohol in her system, not even the medicine she took on a daily basis. Like her allergy and cholesterol medicines weren't even in her bloodstream. And that result was found by all the people who committed suicide, that their blood had no drugs in them. Or it.
Sorry to ask you a personal question, and I assume Dr. Stevens is your late wife.
Yes.
Was it like her to not take medications?
No, she always took her medicine. She was a big believer in practicing what she preached.
Interesting. Thank you. Is that kind of the only thing that's really unusual, is that none of them have any kind of medication or anything in their system that you would assume people would take?
Yes. I guess the other thing you notice, the autopsy report shows that Dr. Stevens had vomited a great deal right before dying.
An unusual amount for a concussion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Murder-suicide is their anti-drug.
All right. I think that's all I really need out of the records. I will thank the doctor and checked. Do I need to get you the copies of those records, or are we? We
yes.
will get those releases.
Oh, of course. If you could just fax them to me or something, that should be fine.
Perfect. Thank you so much again. I'll excuse myself to go find the crew.
They're working hard right now.
Oh, yeah, we
I
are.
bet.
All right.
What are you doing at Jane's? Just drinking?
Finishing up the third shot, obviously.
Yeah.
Got a lot of hard thinking going on here.
Actually, I was thinking maybe I should get some establishing shots of the town, walk around a little bit, or you guys can maybe work the people in the diner.
I think I would also want to go out there with you and use
Okay.
photography to sort of capture as much of the town as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can set up a grid and go up and just take some pictures.
I like that. I mean, so is generally the layout of the town? I assume there's a main street. And
Yeah, there's a main street. Most of the businesses are on the main street. There's not any big box stores here. It's mostly small local places. A lot of businesses seem to be shut down. So a lot of empty buildings with for rent signs up. But that's about it.
Okay.
I guess seeing that, I would want to go see if there is like a town hall, or look at municipal records, see exactly how long ago this happened. The businesses all closing shop.
Okay.
So if you want to look for that specifically, I don't know. I want to take some shots of different buildings up and down the street. See if I'm telling you, I can't shake this feeling that there's a meth lab or something around here. I'm just gonna see if I see any buildings that might look like they have activity that shouldn't. Something that might look boarded up.
Let
My
me
way up
go.
and down Main Street.
Let me go with you then.
All right.
So while you're taking the shots, I can
And
see if there's
Fuentes, you're
anything
gonna
else
go
unusual.
hit up town hall, or?
Yeah, I want to see if there are records to explain, the economic situation. Like, are all of these businesses just completely defunct, or is there something going on, real estate wise? Always looking for an angle. Maybe we can buy a town.
You only had $300 for the camera, so I don't think you can. But maybe.
You never know. Like, maybe there's a tax sale.
I'll cut a deal.
Yeah.
He always does.
I got negotiation.
All right.
I have very few investigative abilities.
As Huang and Baumer are headed down the street, you see the closed Golden Gazette, and it's like picturesque and ideal. You notice a fight break out at the store next door. So there's a young man wearing a suit, and he's arguing with a police officer. The police officer grabs a shovel from the sidewalk. It looks like someone was gardening or something, and starts beating the young man with the shovel.
Oh, camera's on.
Wow.
What do you want
That's
to do?
priorities then.
I try and run up and break it up. Like,
All
Good job.
right. Give me some sort of roll to break it up. So this would be either scuffling would
Okay.
probably be the best.
scuffling. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's scuffling. So I roll d6, and what do I do?
You can spend points out of your pool to add to the roll, or you can save them for later. It's up to you. They're not going to really recover throughout this game. So,
Oh, once they're gone, they're gone.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You never know. We might get a chance to rest.
Yeah, right.
I'm an optimist.
Okay, I'm gonna spend a point off of scuffling to assist in my roll.
Okay.
So I got a 3.
All right. Perfect. So what you needed was a 4, so that hits it exactly.
Okay.
How are you pulling the officer off the young man?
I'm gonna try and get in between him and the young man. Grabbing the handle of the shovel and just like, hey, chief, hey, slow down, come on, what's going on here? Hey.
All right. The officer doesn't look like he's with it right now. His eyes are bulging, and he has the veins coming out in his neck, and all of a sudden he starts throwing up. and he is going to throw up on you unless you get out of the way.
I'm gonna get out of the way.
All right.
Hey, you know these shoes cost me a lot of money. They're Italian. They cost like $200.
I guess. It's not really a dot. Yeah, athletics would be the best.
Athletics. Okay. So I'm just gonna roll athletics. Let me roll 3.
All right. So the puke hits the ground near you, but your shoes are safe, so you're good.
Thank goodness. Oh my goodness.
And I'm gonna have you and Kenny both give me a health roll as you're watching this.
Okay.
So you can spend points out of your health pool. I don't know if I recommend it. That starts getting risky.
Okay. No, I'm not
But
gonna do that.
it is an option.
Okay.
I rolled a 5.
All right.
I rolled a 6.
Okay. You're both feeling great.
Feeling good.
Really want to film people getting beaten.
Well, after 3 vodkas, I should hope I feel great.
You kind of slurred vodka there.
I know.
Yeah, it's good beer. I don't want to get rid of it.
After he started vomiting, he falls down to the ground, and it looks like he starts having a seizure.
I call 911.
All right.
Emergency services.
Okay. They pick up really quickly, and they say someone will be there also very quickly. And that's when you get a phone call, or not you, Dr. Steven gets a phone call Adelaide, and he says, oh, I have to go. Sounds like there's an emergency. So he's going to go running down the street.
I'm going to follow him.
Okay.
I might nab some records.
And not realizing that's happening, I'm going to group text both Fuentes and Adelaide.
Okay.
And I check on the kid that's not on the ground. Is he okay?
He is okay. He has a gash on his forehead, and it's bleeding a lot because it's a head wound, but that seems to be the extent of it. He's just mostly shaken up.
Oh, crap. Okay.
I'm so glad you're here. He went crazy and just started attacking me.
Why did he attack you? I mean, what's going on?
I don't know. I don't know what I did.
Do you know this officer?
No, I've never met him before. I'm just in town trying to write a story.
What are you writing a story about? By the way, don't mind me asking.
Those murder-suicides that have been going on.
Oh, wow. Huh. Yeah, it seems like there's a number of people doing that. Well, what have you heard so far?
I was mostly talking...
Oh, good, you did the research.
I was mostly talking to that lady and the apothecary, you know. I was thinking, you know, spooky apothecary, she's a witch, witches with ergot in Salem. I thought that'd be a good lead-in for my story, and she got real mad that I was accusing her of spreading ergot, which I wasn't doing. She just took it that way.
I think you're about 400 years too late for that sort of thing.
Yeah, but, you know, it's a good lead-in to the story.
Sure, yeah, if you're writing a movie.
I just gotta impress my editor, man.
Well, maybe you ought to consider a different angle.
Yeah, well, that one really didn't go over well, and I think she called him. And so I think I'm just going to stay away from her from now on. And maybe just, you know, go back to Omaha, write the story from there.
Yeah, you think? Maybe you should get that checked out, too. Go down to the local clinic and see if they can clean you up.
This is about the point when Dr. Stevens comes onto the scene. He's breathing hard and tries to restrain the officer.
Okay, he's still active. Is he thrashing around?
It seems like he's not convulsing quite as violently now. And so he's just trying to make sure he doesn't hurt himself.
Okay. Hey, Doc, you need some help?
Yes, if you can just, shoot, I left my bag back at the clinic. If you could go get my bag.
Yeah, sure. Where's your clinic?
He points down the street, towards the Golden Urgent Care. And tells you where his bag is in there.
Okay, I just run off and go to his clinic.
All
Grab his
right.
bag.
I'm not too far behind him. I've got my kit with me.
Okay.
All right.
You're coming the same direction.
Yeah, you'll
Oh, I
probably
see you
run,
like,
you'll
hey,
run into each
already
other.
got it
Yeah.
covered.
All right. So Adelaide gives Dr. Stevens her kit, and they're. Let's see.
Still filming. I'm gonna ask the doctor. Is this like the other incidents?
It.
Having no skill at interviewing anyone,
I'm really busy.
but I'm the only one here pointing a camera at.
There you go.
It seems similar. Yes. Can you give him some room?
Can you not?
Of course, I'll take a half a step back.
Are you gonna come on scene, Fuentes?
Uh,
You did get the group text.
Yes, I will have tried to stick around waiting for the secretary in the city hall to actually get to me, and apparently they're very busy.
There is a, like, you know, those number things that you take a number, and the number is like at 14, and you have number 15, and there's no one else in there, and she doesn't appear to be helping anyone.
Oh, small town government, gotta love it. I guess I will trudge out to see what the big deal is.
All right. So you get there just as the officer passes away. The doctor closes his eyes and says, I don't think there's anything we could have done. When, there's too many notes for this. When Miss Blake had this happen, she died in the hospital. So thank you, everyone, for trying to help. And he'll use the kit that Adelaide provides to try to patch up Paul Forrester, the reporter.
Out of Forrester and Stevens' line of sight, I will give Balmer a thumbs up.
This is going to be great footage.
It's a great shot. You should see his reaction when I asked him the question.
Are you going to do anything while you're at the clinic?
Yeah, I should take a look around.
All right.
Is there like a file cabinet or a computer? Or
There is a file cabinet and a computer.
is the computer unlocked?
It has a passcode.
Shoot. Okay. Computer use. I'm not an egghead. Jeez. What about the file cabinet?
Let's see. You see some folders on the table. It looks like Dr. Stevens left them there in a hurry. They have the names of a couple of the victims from the deaths on them. I suppose you don't know this. They're the ones that Adelaide was looking through, but you don't know that. Then the file cabinet is locked. Actually, I guess they don't really lock up medical records that often. They're all just behind the receptionist desk. You can get access to most of the medical records here if you wanted to take the time to do that.
Well, I'm gonna pull out my smartphone and get as many shots of the records as I can
Okay, great.
for consumption later.
Did the doctor take the body? Are there like EMTs or would we just leave that on the sidewalk?
He's going to call someone, and they'll come transport the body back to the. They'll actually take it to the mortuary that had been closed down. He tells you that they've been opening it up just to keep the bodies in because the county morgue won't take them. They're worried about something being wrong with them, so they have the power turned back on at the local mortuary for now. At least for the freezers.
Perfect. I'll offer to the doctor that I can help him with an autopsy. He's got to be burdened with all of this.
If you could do that, that'd be really wonderful. I've done way too many autopsies recently.
I bet.
Mind if I tag along?
You
You're kinda
can't.
creepy.
You can't film autopsies.
Just general pickup shots.
I guess you can film inside before, but
Exactly.
all right.
We'll be completely respectful.
That's creepy.
You watch. It's going to be a great shot in between scenes.
I think I'll pass on this
Just put a
one.
blue filter on it. It'll be...
It'll make for great B-roll during the intro.
Exactly.
All right, so we have team autopsy. Are Huang and Fuentes going to travel back together to town hall, or are you going to split up more?
I would like to take another run at the town hall.
All right. Are you going to go with him?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
We're going to double team.
So the town hall has become a sort of all-purpose city. City. I don't want to say city politics. City leadership building. So it has the mayor's office. It has the records. It has the police department. All crammed together in one building. The lady at the desk, the file clerk, is still on number 14. When she sees you come back in, she sort of sighs and rolls her eyes and will slowly press the button to flip it over to 15. Next.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to meet you. My name is Doug. How are you today?
Fine.
I was wondering if you could help me figure out some things about property records in town.
Do you need that today?
Yes. Is there a sort of express service fee? Negotiation.
You notice her eyes sort of get a little bit of interest when she comes up, when she thinks, I could charge an express service fee. He wouldn't even know. So let's see. I don't think that needs to be a spend. So you negotiate, how much are you going to give her?
$20.
No, that's not very express.
It's Nebraska.
I mean, get maybe dinner for that much, but not sure it's worth hurrying over.
$40.
All right. Let's see. So you wanted to look at the property history?
Yes.
Do you have bureaucracy or investigate?
I have bureaucracy.
What about Huang?
Well, I don't have bureaucracy.
Oh, I also have research.
Okay.
Investigative procedure.
All right. Those 3 skills should cover it. So there's a lot of farmland around Golden. It was used for a pretty diverse number of crops until 10 years ago, when the ergot blight hit. Usually you can take care of that problem by deep tilling the soil, but it doesn't seem like whatever they ended up doing worked to get rid of the ergot. So they tried growing crops the next 2 years. Nothing grew. A lot of the farms closed, and then when they closed and people left, the rest of the residents of the city left. So businesses couldn't support themselves anymore. Did you want more detail on any of that?
Sure. Is there anything in, like, or do those families still own the land?
It looks like most of them have sold it.
Okay. When that sort of thing happens, you have to sort of disclose if there's something wrong with the land.
Mm-hmm.
are there any sort of disclosures for that sort of, or for the transfer?
Yes, they did disclose that the land did not seem fertile anymore.
Okay.
Did they run any sorts of tests to verify that that was the case? Land wasn't fertile, or
You don't see any records about that in here.
what about the buyer? Do they have a list of the buyers for the land?
It looks like there was one buyer, a Martha Livingston.
Okay, that's what I thought. Any more information on Martha?
Do you want to give me a research spend, Acer?
Sure, I'll give you a research spend.
Martha Livingston was born here in Golden. I have this written out somewhere so that I remain consistent. She inherited a lot of money from her family, and she built Baleen Corporation, a agricultural company. It's one of the biggest in the world. And she her company does a lot of work in developing new fungicides, pesticides, and fertilizers. She has a lot of connections still with the local community, so she did use a lot of the local farms to conduct trials for several of the products her company produces.
All right. That sounds like we have found someone who wants to hide something. Or who wants to set up a bunch of meth labs.
To start
Just
a
as
cult.
a sideline.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, it's the biggest agricultural corporation in the world. But meth seems profitable.
There's Winnebagos all over those fields.
All right.
Vince Gilligan, you can email me anytime.
I will, I guess, take pictures of some of those documents and send them along.
All right.
No, I think just donate a little more to the community of Golden and use their copy machine. Yep.
Closer.
So, yeah, just I would just try to increase that express fee a little bit more and use their copy machine.
All right. It's $5 a page. Or sorry,
Wow.
5 cents a page.
Oh, there we go.
I'm not good at math today, I think.
They're fleecing us.
Yeah.
Just a little.
All right. Team autopsy. So he will actually do the autopsy at the mortuary because they have the better equipment for that there. And he is happy to have an assistant. He'll like double check that you're not filming this. He's kind of paranoid about that, but he's really happy to have Adelaide's help in.
After I get my shots, I'm happy to step outside.
Okay, good. There's like a Time magazine from 10 years ago still in the lobby that you can read.
Fantastic. I'll check the footage I've already taken while I'm waiting.
All right. Yeah, you got some really good shots there. All right. Adelaide, is there anything you're looking for in particular with the autopsy?
I think probably just that it's consistent with what we've seen before, which I'm guessing there's still going to be nothing in his system. I am interested. He said about his wife. The doctor said about his wife that she had head trauma that wasn't consistent with her concussion.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be interested to see if there's any damage. There was no reported head injury for the officer. So if he's got any cranial damage, it would be unusual.
All right. So it looks like There is some damage to his brain, but there's not like damage to the surrounding skull or on his scalp or anything like that.
Okay. Would it be explained by the seizure or the brain damage?
Yeah, it's possible. It's hard to tell.
Okay.
I guess that seems like the most likely case, though.
Okay.
He also has no medicine or drugs or anything like that in his system. He will, let's see. He will let you take any samples you want, though.
Awesome. Yeah, I might take a couple blood samples. I don't really have a lab with me, so there's not a lot I can do unless he's going to let me use, because the mortuary doesn't likely have everything I would want.
He has some basic stuff back at the urgent care clinic, like a microscope at least. If you want to do anything more intense than that, he'll have to send it out to a lab.
Okay. I can make a couple slides, look and see if there's anything that's weird. I will, because I'm assuming this is going to take us a chunk of time, ask him if there were anything in the officer's medical record, if he had hypertension or history of seizures, epileptic, or...
He didn't have a history of seizures. He was on some antidepressants.
Interesting. Is there a psychiatrist or a psychologist in town, or is that just going through the doctors for things like that?
It's mostly going through me unless they want to go out of town.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, at some point I'll make it back to the urgent care and take a look at the blood samples that I drew.
All right. Can you give me... I guess you have medicine, right?
I do have medicine.
Can you give me a medicine spend if you want to analyze the samples without him? Otherwise, you can work with him a little later.
I'll hold off and just kind of help him out. I think he's going to be a good person to have on my side, so I can wait until he's got a little bit of time.
All right. So you've heard back from Kenny and Adelaide that the autopsy went as well as could be expected, I guess. And the footage they have so far looks great, but they're going to help the doctor for a bit longer.
Is there enough footage to start putting like an episode together?
And we've got the beginning of one. We've got a lot of establishing footage. We've got that great stuff with the doctor and, of course, the attack. But, I mean, it's an opener.
Yeah, well, maybe we can coordinate with the talent and do some monologue voiceover stuff.
Sure.
Just
We
get
can
that
started.
going. And maybe see if we can find the contact info for the Golden Gazette.
Right, you can have that.
Okay. I'd like to set up an appointment with
George Hall.
George Hall.
All right. So who is going to go with you to talk to George?
Well, I suggest that if Ken can get away, this might make for some good footage.
Yeah, I can do it.
All right. So George has a nice small little house. There's a shed in the back. He's more than happy to talk to you. He opens the door and shows you in his house, and it is filled with boxes of old newspapers. He is about 65 or 70 years old, and it looks like he is attempting to digitize the archives and upload them online, as well as write stories on the newspaper website. The coverage is not as great as it could be because he's doing everything by himself. But he clearly has a lot of love for this paper.
You couldn't get some kids from the school paper to help out with this or something?
No, I don't know if I trust anyone else to work on this. I know if I'm doing it right.
Fair enough. So how far have you gotten?
I have all these records left.
How many were there when you started?
Those are out in the shed.
Did you start at the beginning or the end?
I've mostly been going box by box, so it's sort of whatever order they ended up in here.
Well, do you have anything about the Baleen Corporation?
Yeah, them. Yeah. I have some stuff about them. I'm not sure where the boxes are. You'd have to help me look.
Oh,
I can help with that.
I can help too, sure.
Is that a research spend?
Yes.
Okay, I would like to be done before next year, so I will give you a point for that.
All right. With you and George and Kenny digging, I guess Huang's here too. It only takes 1 hour to make your way through these archives.
How many boxes fall on our heads?
Just one. It's super comical though.
Oh,
Kenny does get it on tape.
that's for the bloopers.
So what you find is that Baleen Corporation began testing a new fungal fertilizer in Golden.
Patreon backers love bloopers.
It's great content. So the crops, once they started using this, were producing increased yields. Soil quality was decreasing at a slower rate. That was about 12 years ago. In the third year of the trials, one field was infected with a quick-growing ergot. And instead of using the normal treatment for crops with ergot, Baleen said, we don't have to till up the land, we don't have to lose the crops, all we have to do is use this new fungicide. And unfortunately, it wiped out all the crops as well as the disease. And then when the farmers lost their crops for the year. When they planted next year, nothing grew. And after that, the paper stopped reporting very much on what was going on. George will tell you that most of the farmers signed NDAs and stopped talking to him about what was going on.
So does this corporation have a facility around here?
Their headquarters are in Lincoln City. The Ms. Livingston wanted to stay close to her home or something.
Should we get some shots of Ms. Livingston's home?
Well, you can definitely get the house where she grew up. He'll write an address down for you.
Oh, and we'll want to go take a look and get some shots of that shed full of old newspapers.
For sure.
Good transition shot.
Slow pan down.
Yep. Shots of the old papers, key articles.
Ominous music.
Got it queued up already.
It's like half the tracks that we purchased ahead of time on royalty-free sites are just ominous.
Everywhere we can pick them up.
So we just drive by her house and shoot some footage.
All right, so she lives in Lincoln City now, but you can definitely get the house she grew up in.
Yeah, drive by the house she grew up in and get some footage of it.
I'm going to say that this is the perfect shot because she still pays for this house to be upkept. So it has like the nicely mowed green lawn and the perfectly painted house. And then the houses on the other side are overgrown grass. They've clearly not been lived in for a long time. The paint is fading and peeling. And so it's a real good contrast.
Oh, so does she like pay for this house to be kept up so that, like, when corporate PR needs to take new pictures of it, it still looks the way it did?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
She's a woman of the people.
Oof. Ouch.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, it sounds like we've got a great story about a company. We have a different crime that we can talk about now.
This is better. This is way better. Maybe we can do a part 2.
Yeah. But I still don't understand, why did people start killing each other?
All right.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
It's got to be the fungicide, right?
Must be, but
I don't know.
that's the doctor's area of expertise.
Anything weird happen to people when they ingest too much ergot pollen or something?
And that's the question you get on the cell phone as we talk to you on speaker. Adelaide.
Ergot pollen. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds
You've never heard of
disgusting.
ergot poisoning?
No. Should I have?
Yeah, there were famous cases of it in bread. It causes hallucinations and is eventually deadly.
Well, there you go.
Well, generally, it doesn't cause this kind of violence.
How long can ergot remain in the soil?
All right. So Adelaide is able. She might not necessarily know this off her top of her head, but she knows where to go to look.
Yeah. I'm going to send you a here, let me Google that for you link.
Ergot is a type of fungi, which is in the same classification as things like yeast and mushrooms and molds. It belongs to the genus Claviceps. So the most common type is C. purpurea. It grows on rye and wheat and barley, and over time, if you eat it, it causes ergotism, which leads to seizures, nausea, headaches, psychosis, diarrhea, mania, and even gangrene. Compounds derived from ergot are actually used to treat migraines. So if people get ergotism nowadays, it's probably because they've been taking too much migraine medicine. But it is usually contracted through eating infected grain. It can be passed on from mother to infant through breastfeeding, and it's actually pretty identifiable on crops. So it's like these larger, dark kernels growing on the head of the grain.
Okay, wait. I don't know if I really want to know the answer, but gangrene where?
I don't know. I didn't write that part down.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I don't want to know.
So glad.
So you can usually separate ergot from healthy grain by putting it in like a brine solution, and the non-infected kernels will sink, the others will float. The spores only last for a year, so if you rotate in crops that ergot can't infect for the next harvest, it will probably die out. If you're not going to rotate crops, you have to deeply till the soil in order to bury the infected soil or the infected soil, because ergot is dependent on reproducing via spore release into the air.
Okay, so if they had just tilled the land or switched crops for a year, they would have been fine.
Maybe.
I thought you said the company said not to till the land.
Yes, so this is all their fault.
Probably fair.
But that doesn't change the fact that it should be dead now, right? It's been like a decade.
Well, I thought there was ergot poisoning in the crops that they last tried to... Was that the decade ago?
Yeah.
Okay. It's been barren since then, I would assume. There's nothing for it to grow on. There's no food.
But wait. Didn't it was like some kind of... They were making on some kind of super crops, right?
Well, right, if they were using a fungicide, anything that lived...
Could they have just made a super ergot?
Right.
Yeah, maybe it's sentient.
I wouldn't go that far.
Be a great story, though.
It would be a great
We
story.
get a whole season out of that.
Oh yeah, we can milk that for all it's worth.
We're not going down the ergot monster.
Oh jeez, you're no fun.
You may not be going down the ergot monster route.
So, would the tests that you conducted so far be able to detect ergot poisoning?
So that would be a blood chemistry thing. So you can send the blood samples out to get tested for that. Looking under the microscope, you do see that there seems to be a lot of fungi in the blood. Like, that shouldn't be there.
Okay. That might be worth sending a sample on to a lab in the next big city.
I'll give you the credit card number. I'm guessing that we can't get that done for like $240.
Probably not. Is there an equivalent to bouncing a check with a credit card?
Only if they catch you.
You just start stealing people's credit card information out of their mailboxes.
Whose name is this that I'm sending this with? Yeah, if I can get a hold of somebody at a lab and get a sample to them, hopefully it'll be okay to be a couple days old, or at least.
Dr. Stevens will make sure you're sending them a good sample.
Okay.
And he has connections that can do this on the city's dime.
Awesome. My producer will love to hear that.
Wow, the city still has dimes?
It's the ones that you put into the copy machine.
That's what those $5 page copies go for.
They only take dimes. Oh man.
It takes forever.
They're hoping you won't pay attention. You know, give them those silver ones.
All right, what do you want to do next?
Well, I think we've earned another visit to Jane's.
Busy day. Jane is very excited to talk to you about
yeah, there you
the attack on that nice young reporter man, Mr. Forrester. And it was such a shame what happened to Officer Butcher. He was always such a nice fellow. And she hopes people won't take this as another bad sign about terrible things happening in Golden.
What does she know about the late officer? I mean, she knows just about everybody in town, right?
Yeah, he was really struggling, I think, with all the deaths. He was first on scene a couple times, and I know, I have heard at least that it was really getting to him. He was very sensitive.
Yeah, it's got to be kind of traumatic. Did he have anybody in his family die, or anybody close by, maybe a neighbor that was impacted by this?
Oh, no, he doesn't have any local family.
You said you've met the reporter?
Yes, he came in for breakfast yesterday morning, and he seemed like a nice young man.
He probably skipped the screwdriver.
I don't know. I'll check the footage.
Did you learn anything about him? We got that he's doing an article on the deaths.
Yeah, he works for the Omaha World Herald. So he was writing some big story for them about, what's been going on. And it's such a shame. Golden has always been a nice place until that terrible thing happened, but things were starting to look up, Miss Brenda, she won the state fair prize for her tomatoes just this summer, and now terrible things are happening, and I wish it was all just happy things like that.
Tomatoes, I thought you guys were having trouble with your land being barren.
Oh, she grew those in her garden.
Oh, okay. So individual houses are okay. It's just the farmland?
Yes. Well, things weren't growing great for a while there, but now it's all back to normal. Maybe the fields will be back to normal soon too.
Is there anybody else that's big into the home gardening?
Oh, I think Helen is the lady at the apothecary. I know she grows some of the herbs that she sells there, but I think she still buys most of them. She just wouldn't admit that.
So, what sort of things does Helen sell? I think the attack happened right in front of her shop, right?
Oh, yes. I heard. I know I said he's a nice young man, but he was implying that she had something to do with the ergot nonsense, and people are a bit sensitive to that up here. But she sells, some nice teas, some home remedies. I know some of the local kids call her a witch, but she's not. She's just a nice old lady.
So, is there anyone else from around here that's that's still growing anything, or did all the farmers leave?
Oh, no one's growing crops anymore. All the farmers have left.
Is it just the food crops that were affected? I mean, Ms. Livingston's old home seems pretty well kept up. All those look pretty green.
Well, yeah, a lot of the plants didn't grow very well for a few years, but it's been getting better. I know they probably use some of her special keep things green. I bet they even replace the sod every once in a while or something to make her house look so fancy.
Sure. Does she ever come back to town? Or is it just, she just keeps up the house for memories?
I think it's mostly for memories. I haven't seen her for a few years.
Does anybody locally use the products from her company?
Oh, not anymore. We don't really trust them anymore.
Even though they bought out all the land?
Oh, you're not supposed to know about that. That is a big secret.
Oh,
Apparently
really?
not, because we know about it.
Why is it such a big secret?
Well, I think she didn't want all the other farmers to know that she was buying people's land as part of the settlements. Of course, I knew because everyone talks to me, but it's not supposed to be common knowledge.
Settlements, was there a lawsuit?
Yeah, the Baleen had to pay out to all the farmers who lost their crops in their fields, and that's why they had the money to leave town.
Gotcha.
So what's the land used for now?
It mostly just stands there empty. It's a real shame, all those family farms going to ruin.
Yeah, it sure is. So did you say the Bailey went out of business?
Oh no, they're still around.
What are they producing nowadays?
But still fertilizers and stuff. I don't know. I don't pay that much attention.
I see.
So you say the town's things are getting better? Is there a new company moving into town, or is someone coming in to revitalize the downtown? I noticed a lot of businesses are still closed.
Oh, well, I meant things are growing better. I don't know if things are ever going to get back to the way they were.
Who did you say was was it Ms. Brenda?
Yeah, Miss Brenda Smith. She was you probably heard about her. She was the lady at the church fair. That's all anyone's going to remember her for now.
Was that the fair that her tomatoes won a prize?
No, it was a like picnic fair thing. They had
Oh,
Yeah.
little booths for the kids and stuff.
was it a
Oh.
potluck by chance? Did she bring anything that maybe she made with her?
Yeah, it was a potluck. I don't remember what she brought, but I'm sure she brought something. She was a great cook.
You said she won with her tomatoes.
Mhm.
Do you know, or I don't suppose you could tell us where her house was?
I sure could. She'll write it down on a napkin for you.
Are you wanting to take some soil samples?
Yes.
Not a terrible idea. What time of day is it?
This is dinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
The killing that was at the, there was one at the church, right?
Well, there was two. There was the first one when
Right.
yeah, and then when Mr. Barton killed the minister.
And then the witness to that killed someone else.
Well, she drove her car into traffic,
Oh, okay.
and then she went to the hospital and died there.
Of similar symptoms to what the officer died of this afternoon.
Yeah.
And when the fellow who killed the minister, what was he there at the church for? Was it a service or?
He was talking to the minister and one of the deacons about the budget for the church.
So just a budget meeting.
Well, I've been known to want to kill someone at one of those, but never actually acted on it. Should we wait till the morning?
Might be the best idea. We're gonna lose light pretty quickly.
Yeah.
If you guys would stop drinking.
Wait a minute. If we're gonna go in the morning,
Oh no.
It's a good time to drink.
You should just wake them up real early.
They don't even have HBO in this hotel. What else?
plenty of BO though.
Womp womp.
All right. So next morning, you're going to head to Brenda's house.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So it looks like there was like an attempt to upkeep the house for a while, but it's also it's also fallen to some disrepair of late. The garden in the back is very green and things are growing great there.
Wow.
All right.
Um,
Just in the off event that Ergot did become sentient, watch your step.
And don't say anything bad about it.
I love Ergot.
Ergot gets a bad rap.
You say so. So should we worry about the plants starting to talk to us, or don't talk back?
Say something nice.
I'm gonna get some footage of the nice garden.
I'm gonna take some samples. So I'll get some of the soil. Are there any like tomatoes or anything that's actually like got fruit or vegetables?
Yeah, there are some nice, juicy looking red tomatoes, even though it's off season for them.
Wow. Nobody eat this.
Yeah.
wasn't
No,
planning
not
on
going to
it.
happen.
I brandish a trowel ineffectually.
Is there like a shed or a garage?
There is a garage.
Okay, I'm going to look around the garage while they're doing that.
There is some fertilizer. There's a lot of gardening supplies. It is not Baleen company fertilizer, though.
Okay. Is there a car in the garage?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can pop the trunk. Is it unlocked or?
Yeah, it's unlocked.
Okay.
She feels pretty safe in this town in any case, but even more
Is the key in the ignition?
in the garage. No, it is under the sun visor.
Okay.
Is this the point where the PI just steals a car?
Well, if we need one.
It's good to know where one is.
We
Yeah,
rented
why
a
would we
car.
This one's more disposable.
Right.
Yeah,
Is it a Buick?
not traceable back to us.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, there you go.
It's not a car, it's a boat.
I look in the glove box and then the trunk and see if I see anything unusual.
Yeah, you don't really see anything strange.
Okay, good enough.
Probably should have checked before we came out here. Does she have any family? Is there anyone else that lives here? As we're
No, there's no one else who lives here.
Where are you?
Just helping ourselves.
Oh, hi.
Since there's no one here, anything in the mailbox?
It looks like they stopped delivery a little bit ago, but there's all the local ads and
Standard flyers. And, okay.
I think I got the samples that I want. It's not really in my wheelhouse to analyze these, but I could do some basic. If I'm just looking for weird fungus.
Mm-hmm. So you can look at the fungus under the microscope. You can't get any like specific details on like what exactly it is, but you can tell the general type of fungus as soon as I find where it is on here. I feel like I'm missing a page. 1, 2. Oh, I am missing a page. Here it is. All right. The fungus doesn't look like ergot should, based on Googling. It is sort of long and almost like roots.
Can I find like a basic like identification guide and see if I can narrow down what it is?
It looks like it seems to be some sort of EVF or AMF, which is arbuscular mycorrhiza fungus, which is a type of fungus that grows around the roots of plants, and it works like a symbiote. So both organisms sort of support each other. So AMFs help plants absorb nutrients, resist drought, increase grain yield, and promote growth. And they sort of grow deep into the soil to extend the root network, but then they grow on the plants.
There wouldn't be any kind of documented case of this causing negative effects to humans or to animals?
No.
Poisoning or anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything weird about the fruit?
It seems to have some fungal growths throughout it. Not everywhere, but especially like near the seeds, there seems to be like a fine fungal network around them.
Terrific.
Would that be something that would be typical of the fungus that I saw in the soil?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's mostly, it stays around the roots.
Any way to pin down what might be actually in the...
It looks like it's the same sort of AMF type of fungus, it's just not where it should be.
Weird. Okay, sentient fungus, you guys were right.
So you said...
Frankenfungus. That's our line. Frankenfungus.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you don't like it? Come up with something better.
Do we not have a writer?
No.
Apparently not.
The on-screen talent is taking all of their cues from Kenny.
Yeah, it's a problem. So
I came up with a name for the show.
The ergot is something that stays near the surface. AMF burrows deep. Is it possible does fungus interbreed?
Yes, that is possible, according to Adelaide's research. Usually, it's more stuff that's closely related, but it is possible to hybridize fungus.
That's gross. Also terrifying. Maybe we should leave town.
What about your show?
I like not vomiting to death.
Yeah,
Don't eat the
that would be
tomatoes.
good.
That's a good first step.
Did you have a burger for dinner last night? Did they have tomatoes on it?
Uh-oh.
Oh no, you're gonna have to think
Oh,
about everything you
no.
ate.
Can we test her blood?
Yes, test my blood.
We all want to have our blood tested.
Yes.
Adelaide, test our blood.
I don't have.
We're already like rolling up our sleeves.
Oh no.
If you look under their blood, at their blood under a microscope, everyone's blood looks normal. You don't
Okay.
see any fungus so far.
Great.
That was a great bonding experience, guys.
Let's not do that ever again.
She has all of our blood now. Well, okay, that's a relief. But what do we do now? I mean, do we... It seems a lot bigger than just a couple of random people murdering each other and then...
I think we got to contact someone. I mean, do you know anyone back at the university who's more of, no offense, an expert in specifically fungi?
You know how when people say no offense, the next thing they say is offensive?
No, I don't.
He's never experienced that at all.
No.
Must have a lot of friends.
Yeah, I mean, between people I know and perhaps more locally people the doctor knows, do you have any friends that we can connect with, or do I have people that I can connect with about, like, specifically about fungus? I don't know, mycologist? Maybe
Yeah.
that.
You have some friends in the botany department at, was it Tulane?
Tulane,
Yeah. So you could definitely make some connections there. The problem is when you get on your phone to do that, you find that you have no cell phone signal. It doesn't seem like you have any cell phone signal, any data. Your phone is not connecting to anything.
That's really
I
weird.
swear I had service. I just Googled funguses.
Okay, so
Fungi?
we'll check our phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one has any service.
That's not good.
Ugh.
We're at the urgent care, right? Because we're using the doctor's lab. Is there a landline?
Yes, it is not connecting. You just get the it's a busy signal. You just get nothing. You pick it up and you get nothing.
It's dead.
Great. Fun.
Well, it's fun while we're here. Let's go.
So as you head out to Main Street, you see some people in National Guard outfits and a very serious-looking woman talking to the police that are left in town, not Officer Butcher, but the other ones. And she's pointing, and it looks like they're setting up roadblocks.
I think we might be under quarantine, guys.
Oh, terrific.
Well, at least we, performed a public service, I guess.
Well, wait a minute. I mean, we know our blood's clean, right? We just tested it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
So let's get the hell out of town.
I don't think the National Guard is going to let us by if we, wave slides at them.
I'm not saying that we go the direction the National Guard is, but there's other ways to get out of town. There's got to be.
All right, let's go.
Trivia, Megan. Are there other ways out of town?
I'm not sure that's trivia. That's not something that's going to come out of trivia night.
How many ways can you get out of Golden,
Be a weird,
Nebraska?
weird trivia night.
I got research. I have a AAA road atlas.
So, Main Street, when you drive through, small towns on the freeway, and you're, driving through the town, and so you have to slow down. Golden is like that. So, the main street to get to any of the other surrounding towns is on the main street.
There's one road in and out of town, basically.
Yeah.
And it has National Guard.
And it has National Guard on it. Train lines?
There are some trains on, if you go like over through the fields, you could probably get to where the train goes through.
What about those farms? They didn't have any roads connecting to the town?
They connect into town, but they don't really connect out to anything past town.
Okay.
The rental car does not have four-wheel drive.
Does the Buick?
No.
I've
The Buick
already
has
thought about that one, yeah.
the Buick has two-wheel drive, no wheel steering.
Yes.
Yes.
Who's our best at talking to people? Maybe we want to just go check in with the National Guard.
I think you're the one that's good at reassuring people.
I reassured the doctor a lot. I'm
Tapped out?
a little bit. I can go talk to him though.
Does anyone else have reassurance?
I do.
Oh no.
I know that
No.
seems crazy.
No, it's hard to believe, but
All right.
But I was
Okay.
actually more interested in an alternate plan. What I am interested in is these guys have communications. I would really like to listen to what they're saying in their communications.
can we cut into the comms?
I think I might be able to. I'm not sure whether you tell me whether you think that whether computer use. I mean, they have computer use. There isn't really a
Different technology.
electronics.
Do you have
skill.
mechanics?
I do have mechanics.
All right. Yeah, that would be a mechanics role.
Mechanics. All right. So what I would like to do is actually head up to the room, see if I can get my gear together, and ham up something to tap into their comms.
Okay, great.
So,
Give me a roll for that. Are you gonna spend it all?
I am going to spend. Yeah, I'm going to spend one from mechanics.
Okay.
Maybe two. Let's make it two. Yeah.
All right.
You're
So
welcome.
you get a sort of crackly connection.
Okay.
It's not super clear. You're able to make out that they're setting up some sort of headquarters in the old Golden department store. That they have shut down communications to the area, and that they're quarantining people, and that they are trying to move most of the city population into the town center.
Okay.
You also find out that they're setting up the
Quarantine?
what's the word I want? To stop the signal from getting out.
Oh, they're
Like a jammer?
blocker.
Jamming.
Yeah,
Yes,
there you
they're blocking the signal from one of the fields on the outskirts of town.
Okay.
I'm usually not thinking about words this late at night. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So I'll relay that information. I kind of feel like it would be a really bad idea to go head to the town center where all these other people who may or may not be infected with a weird fungus are being gathered. That's just my opinion. I mean, you guys may have a different opinion.
You know, it's really weird whenever I say this, but I think Ken is right. It's happening a lot lately, and I'm really unsettled by that.
I know.
Almost, actually, no, more unsettled by that than like the whole ergot that turns people into homicidal monsters thing.
Good idea is a good idea. Let's get out of here.
I do want to talk to the National Guard before we go back to, I'm assuming, Jane's.
You need to fortify before.
Alcohol
sneaking
kills
away.
anything, right? What is the story the National Guard gives?
The samples that Dr. Stevens sent out
Yes.
put up some flags, and so they're just here to check in and make sure there's not something causing problems. So the CDC is in charge of the scene, and they're just sort of here to form the cordon.
Very interesting. I actually work with the doctor and have been helping with this investigation. Is there someone I can talk to about the results that you guys found to be alarming?
You're going to want to talk to Mrs. Renault. She's the one with the CDC. he points at the woman who seemed to be directing everyone around earlier.
Okay. Yeah, I will go try and get her attention.
All right. So she seems busy and hassled. Her eyes are sort of trying to catch all details at once. And she'll say, "What? You're working with Dr. Stevens?"
Yeah, I've been helping him collect samples after some of the strange occurrences with the recent deaths.
Well, I'm glad you were able to help him catch that something odd was going on here, so we could help figure out the problem.
Always happy to help. Out of curiosity, you said it was the blood samples that we sent out. What was it that you found so alarming?
Well, just the amount of fungus in the blood was much higher than normal, and we were concerned that it's something that might be infectious.
Were you able to identify what the fungus is?
Some sort of ergot. You have science, right?
I do.
All right. So what she's saying makes sense on like a very basic science level, but not on the sort of level someone who works for the CDC should be talking about it with.
Okay.
You suspect that she is in fact not with the CDC.
Interesting. The CDC wouldn't have to show any sort of identification. would
Yeah, they don't really have like a badge.
Can I see your CDC badge?
At least not that I know of. No one checked on that.
Bullshit detector. Is she giving me weird information because she doesn't actually know what she's talking about, or is she trying to hide something?
She is trying to hide something.
Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna. Oh, I can't text you.
Nope.
I think I'll keep that in my back pocket for now and not poke her about it,
Okay.
because I want to connect with them specifically because I want to. He said he was going to go off and try and hack their communication, so I'm going to see if he can get anything from their side.
Right. Presumably, by the time you're done with that, I'll
Yeah,
have gotten what I got.
I'm going to go look at Jane's for them.
The other thing I want to do is I want to quickly review the footage of the town that I've got, and what I'm looking for is if 3 or 4 people wanted to hide from the National Guard, what would be the best place in town?
And an intern.
And an intern. Oh, that's right, the intern.
They've just been giving you coffee this
We
whole
may-
time.
We may have to sacrifice the intern.
You're the keys to the van.
But-
I want you to go
Stay in the van. Go
Stu-
get coffee, please. What would be maybe the best place that we could go?
So there's all the abandoned like farmhouses and barns that no one's at. It might be a little more obvious that you're heading out to those.
Right.
Any of the abandoned stores, except I suppose the one that they're setting up shop in, would probably be a good place to hide. Because it doesn't seem like they're going door to door. It seems like they're just telling people that they need them in the center of town to run some tests or something.
Right, for now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have trivia and history. Would that be enough to determine whether are these National Guardsmen that went to Iraq or Afghanistan, or are they ones that like fill sandbags during flood season?
This is the most military-ready group of National Guardsmen you've ever seen.
Wow.
They seem to be very much experts in the whole, soldiering thing.
Okay, so that's kind of scary.
Yeah, it kind of is.
And so, does that also mean their equipment is better than I would expect from the National Guard?
Yes.
Okay, that's really scary.
Because the National Guard's equipment is so good normally.
They have a GoPro from 2 years ago.
Yeah. They have a much better camera than we do.
Theirs has a headphone jack.
Yeah. So hopefully I've identified a place that we could hole up and maybe take a route that would get us out of the back of the diner and get to that location. And I will just flat out, when Adelaide gets back, I will flat out be suggesting that.
We're doing this on foot?
I'm not, the longer we go, I mean, I don't, okay, yeah, right now they're just asking people, right? So I want to put some distance between us and them, but
Oh.
I kind of want to see, you know,
How bad it gets.
I want to see what they're doing. I mean,
Yeah.
Ideally, I would like to be able to have a place where we could hole up and see what's going on at or near the town center.
How many of them are there?
So there seems to be about I think I should look at my notes because I think I decided this number as one that makes sense. There's about 50 National Guardsmen dealing with the townsfolk, and then there's you see others moving around in pairs around town, but there's most of them seem to be focused on keeping people calm, and it looks like maybe they're taking blood samples or something.
And they're all dismounted? They're not patrolling in vehicles?
Yes.
Okay.
Is the doctor around somewhere?
He is trying to help them with the blood draws.
All the National Guardsmen in Nebraska and run into like the only 80 that have been to Ranger School.
Yeah, I'm sure that's just random chance. So, what do you say? I mean, do you convey to us that
Yeah.
the person was not on the up and up from the CDC?
Yeah. I talked to the lady that says she's from the CDC, and something's up. She's not telling me everything, and she doesn't talk like a scientist.
Okay. Yeah. These, yeah, they're being nice because that's phase one. Be nice. Makes
Keep
it
us-
easier that way.
Keep us calm.
Right. I think we should get out of this diner. I don't think we should get in the car right now because that just puts a flag on us. They'll see us.
Yeah, let's kind of walk out the back and make our way out to one of those farms.
I agree.
Sounds like a plan.
Well, again, if we can get to, I'm fine with going to a farmhouse if we can get to someplace sort of undercover, preferably after dusk. But I mean, these guys have probably got night vision. Maybe we should. I don't know. Like I said, I kind of want to see what they're doing in the town center. I mean, if they're doing something crappy, then we should get footage of that, right?
Is
We
there like a
should
bell
try.
tower or some high place in town?
That's the best place to stay from.
There's the church. So yeah, there's
Church
a
tower.
bell. There's a tower in the church.
Maybe we can go up there, into the bell tower. We can watch it.
Yep, that might not be a bad place to hole up.
Okay. And make sure there's no snipers there. I'll get some binoculars.
All
and
right.
Go see if there's anybody up on the bell tower.
All right. Do you have notice?
No, it
I
would
do.
be evidence collection. Or it is notice?
Notice
Oh.
is
There
in
is a
this
notice.
one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
It would be notice, yeah.
You have
I do have
second
notice.
edition
Yes.
for yourself.
All right. Yeah. So you don't see anyone in the church.
Okay.
So you should be able to get in there. No problem.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna let them go set up the bunker, so to speak, and I'm gonna go help the doctor.
All right. So he will tell you that they are taking blood samples. The CDC is concerned this is some sort of fungal infection that's causing the violent streak in people, and so they're just checking people out, making sure everyone's healthy.
Are they doing some sort of like on-site test, or are they just taking these samples and sending them out?
I think they're storing them all in the department store until they get enough to send out, and then they'll start sending them out in bulk.
Okay.
But we're keeping everyone quarantined for now, just until we were able to clear them.
Gotcha. While I'm helping them collect samples, I'm gonna like maybe take a couple extra vacutainers and see if I can slip things off to go at least look under the microscope and see if there's like how many people have fungus in their blood.
All right, yeah. So you just pocket a couple of the vials. Do you have filch?
I don't.
All right, so you can still make the roll. At least I think you can. I'm gonna say you can still make the roll. I think
Yeah, I
in
don't
some
remember what
gumshoe
general
you
abilities.
can't.
5.
All right, so you're good. You're distracting him by talking about new phlebotomy standards, and
Definitely not a biohazard.
he's enraged about the new sharps containers they're issuing, and I don't know what phlebotomists talk about. You're able to pocket some vials.
All right. People's veins.
Yeah.
There's some really difficult veins here.
One rolling vein's real bitch.
Yep.
Okay, I have looked up the firearms waiting period in Nebraska.
Uh-huh.
There isn't one. So.
thought we're in Kansas.
Nebraska.
Nebraska.
I
Okay.
think we're in Nebraska.
So
Wouldn't
I.
make much difference.
Okay.
You might have thought it was Kansas.
That's true.
-1 in Kansas. You'd think maybe I should have bought a. Wait, I bought a gun yesterday. I'm going to roll preparedness to have bought. I rationalize this on the basis of Ken's freaking me the fuck out with his talk of sentient fungus that
Yeah.
makes people go crazy and kill people, and I will have stopped by the local hardware store.
No, it's the gun, ammo, fireworks, tobacco, alcohol stores.
Oh, good. He was
All
already
the
there.
essentials.
Yeah,
All the
there you go.
essentials.
There are several stores like that. And I'm going to spend 2 points of preparedness to have bought myself a short barrel shotgun. Well, not a short barrel shotgun, but a tactical length shotgun.
Wow.
They have some scary deer in Nebraska.
Yeah. So not a
30 to
title.
50 feral hogs.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, not a Title 3 shotgun.
What's wrong?
So 7.
7. All right, you got your shotgun, and they threw in 2 road flares as a bonus.
How nice of them.
I figure if I give you some sort of fire-making device, it will come in handy at some point.
That's fair.
Then I go to, wait, it's also the liquor store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Vodka, please.
Guns and alcohol. Yeah, that's a good combination.
Do you at least have to ring up at separate
Yeah.
registers?
Yeah.
But you can put them in the same cart. You go through different check stands.
Yeah. But you have to put them in a bag. But they
Yeah.
can be the same bag.
And shot and slugs.
All right. You have guns and alcohol. The proprietor of the store is a little concerned about this combination, but not enough to stop you.
God bless America. Oh, and because of that, fireworks.
Oh, no.
All right. That's where the road flares come in as well.
There
Well,
you go.
just on the way out, you just look and see the reflection of one of those 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot boxes. It's just like a giant Roman candle launcher thing, and
All right.
Indeed. Okay.
So you're holed up in the church.
So we saw nobody. There was nobody there at the church. We didn't see any. Jeff, did you spot anybody on the roof of any of the buildings?
Didn't see anybody there.
Okay.
Nope.
So I want to set up the. I actually want to set up the camera so that I can watch it without being up in the. I realize I can't. It's not like articulate. I can't move it around. But if I could set it up with a view of the concentration of the town center, so I can watch it from like cell phone or monitor somewhere else.
All right. Yeah. So you can set that up so that you don't have to be up there. It's a little windy and cold. So
It's a little windy, and also I don't want my heat exposed up there.
yeah. So you can see they're keeping people in town. They're like setting up tents and stuff. They just want everyone to be safe and monitored and made sure they're getting food that isn't infected, sort of thing.
Instead, they're getting food that's poisoned.
Right.
I think it gets rid of the fungus.
Adelaide, the samples you look at, about 75% of them have fungus in them. Maybe not at quite the concentrations as some of the ones you looked at for the dead people, but they do seem to be pretty infected.
While I'm here, and I know we just did this whole exercise with the guys and it seemed paranoid then, but now I'm paranoid, I'm going to take some of my own blood and check and see.
All right. You are in the clear.
All right. I'll make my way back to the church and let them know that there's a good number of people with the fungus in their blood.
That's alarming. And they're all together now.
Yep. And they have a tendency to try and kill each other.
And anyone nearby.
Right.
So let's not be nearby.
I mean, if anybody's got a plan to get out of town without the National Guard finding us, I'm all for hearing it.
Special Ops National Guard.
Right, exactly. The National Guard.
Yeah. They're here with the CDC.
Exactly. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like staying put and laying low for now is the best option, at least until we find an opening.
Yeah, I think so too.
An opening like a church blowing up?
Please don't blow up the church.
Who blows up churches?
Lots of people, but they're not very nice people. But, I mean, I do like the idea of a distraction, but I don't know. I think we ought to, like I said, I think we ought to wait for a little bit more of an opening. These guys are just locking this place down now.
Did you say you got into their communication system?
I did. It wasn't a great connection, but I was able to get the basics. I mean, I know that they have a jammer set up somewhere in the fields outside of town. I don't know which field. I know somewhere. I don't have a direction. I know they've they've got a HQ at the department store, and yeah, and we already know the numbers and their armaments. So.
Can you keep an eye on that? I want to know specifically if the woman who says she's with the CDC tries to contact anybody.
Could you rig up... sorry.
Oh, go for it.
Could you rig up some kind of direction finder? I mean, if it's a single point for the jamming...
Direction finder?
Yeah.
I'm sure I could do that, actually.
It might be a good idea to know where it is. If nothing else, we can head away from it.
Yeah, actually, would it be reasonable to say that I have equipment that, if by burning some preparedness, I could have equipment that would do that?
Yeah.
All right. So let's say I were to burn 3 preparedness.
Okay.
There we go.
Very nice.
That's an 8.
Look who's a Boy Scout.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you are very prepared. You have all kinds of electrical equipment in your bag. So if you don't have it, you can probably piece it together.
Okay.
You have an FBI Con Intel Pro truck.
Yes. In my backpack.
Yeah.
So I can get a bearing on the jammer and find out exactly where that is, and then you wanted me to tap into the comms again, or maybe try to improve my tap into the comms.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be legit for me to spend some more mechanics on that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I will burn, no time like the present, I will burn 3 mechanics. 3 on mechanics. And, damn it. I'm glad I did. I got a 4.
All right. So you can figure out where the jammer is. It is north of the city, about a mile and a half from where you are. I guess I don't know if the thing would tell you that, but that's what you're able to piece together.
Okay.
The communications, you hear something. There's a lot of talk going on. You do hear something about a gas leak.
course.
Okay, so I relay that information. There's a gas leak, or could be a gas leak.
How convenient.
It seems like it's going to take a while for the gas leak to reach full potency, though. So
Of course. Oh, man.
That's just lovely.
Check the camera. Can I see anybody who is there anywhere near the town center where they've got like a manhole cover opened up, something like that? Something I wouldn't expect these guys to be messing with.
do you have notice?
I do have notice.
All right. For 1 point spend,
I will spend 1 point.
you see it's not near the where people are gathered in the town center, but sort of between where you are and where the people are gathered. You can see a open manhole cover, and it looks like some of the quote-unquote National Guard troops are moving in and out of there. They are like doing it in black clothes with, black face masks. So it's not very easy to see them, but you can definitely make them out once you spot them.
Oh, they leveled up.
I guess so.
Okay, so I'll relay that information. Guys, what are we gonna do?
This is getting over our heads.
Yeah, but
We're stuck here.
Think of the ratings.
Yeah.
Without cell phone signal, we can't get anything out, including YouTube videos.
Yeah, and then we'll die. So I am aware. But suppose we could we take out that jammer and call for help?
Yes.
yeah, I think that might be the.
That's our best bet.
If we stay here, we have no idea how big this gas explosion is going to be. These people are going to all bite it.
I'm guessing that gas leak's going to have some help too.
Yeah, I'm not going to. What are we going to do? Fight some black-clad special ops National Guard guys?
Yeah, that's
I
not
don't
going to
think
happen
so.
today. No.
I think taking out the jammer is probably our best bet. We can get it if we can get even if we can shut the equipment off, I can probably use the antenna to get a signal from there.
So can you detect where the jammer is?
Yeah, I know.
Along the way.
I'll give you kind of the rough. Do we? Oh, you had some maps, right? You had a.
Yep.
AAA road atlas.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So if I look at the road guide, we should be able to kind of figure out generally. I mean, they wouldn't be too far from a road. One of the farm roads. We should probably, I know it's about 1.5 miles north. And it's Nebraska, right? It's flat farmland. Like, we should be able to, relatively flat. We should be able to find someplace where we can get a beat on it pretty easily if we can get out of town.
So how fast can you cover 1.5 miles crawling through the dirt?
Well, for this, I mean.
Or do you think we just get the
Stay
Buick
No, that'll draw too much attention.
and intern?
Draw them away.
The intern can serve as a distraction.
Oh, dear.
I don't know. I mean, if there's a car on the north side of town and we can get to it and then head out with the lights off, maybe we can do it.
Okay.
I mean, does that seem reasonable?
I mean, if they chase us, we bail out and go in 4 different directions.
Okay.
Because that's always a good idea.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
have to outrun each other.
Yeah. Just don't be the slowest one.
Yes.
So it would be out of character for me to have it, but do you have maybe some things that would work as like covert clothing? I mean, we're all wearing street clothes.
Probably like tack gear, but it would be just for myself. I mean, I could think, well, if I use preparedness, I could say that I got some camouflage or tack gear for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
it's just outdoor gear.
Outdoor gear. Outdoor
Yeah.
gear. So, something that will help us to escape notice.
Yeah.
He stopped at REI.
Right.
No, you're at the ammo store and you bought everyone a souvenir T-shirt and it just happens to be camo.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just like, hunting clothing
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says you're golden on the back.
There you go.
How much do you want me to spend?
Yeah, spend and make a roll.
Okay, so I might as well just go all out. So I'll go 3.
Okay.
And I roll a 6,
Alright.
I get
Wow.
9.
So
Oh, yeah.
you
very-
actually what happened was you're going through line and you were their 1,000th customer this month, and so they gave you a gift card.
Wow.
Alright.
And they didn't really have anything you wanted at the store, so you got everyone some great camo shirts, so it would work out for your like Halloween party or something.
Okay.
So you all have some really great camouflage.
And bandanas?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say some genuine Soviet night vision goggles.
Oh, yeah, surplus. Yeah, there you go.
Those aren't
Yeah.
genuine.
Balaclava? Yeah.
Oh.
You're set.
All right. Yeah.
Alright, that's fantastic.
Look like hunting nerds.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff. That's so nice of you.
Is his name actually Jeff?
Must be Christmas. It's come early this year.
Okay.
So yeah, so I think the plan is try to get out of the church, find find a car on the north side of town where we think we can like start it up, keep the lights off, and just start homing in on that jammer.
All right. So are you going to take out the jammer in the dead of night then?
We definitely want to do it after dark for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So give me infiltration.
Oh,
Don't have that one.
I think
I do.
Megan, I would like to do a piggy pack test.
Yeah. So the way we'll do this is we'll have one person make the roll. If you want to be included on the roll, you have to spend 2, or is it 2 infiltration?
Well, it's 1 point gets you into the pool,
Mm-hmm.
and then for everyone who wants to that doesn't have a point, the result goes down by 2.
All right. So, but anyone, if you have infiltration, you can spend more than 1 to get in on the roll.
Yeah, and then you can add every point beyond the first one.
Yeah.
Does anybody not have infiltration?
I don't have it.
Oh no.
So
That is
automatic.
a terrible PI.
I just
I
don't
do,
have it.
and I can spend both of them to at least mitigate some of that from him not having any.
All right.
Okay, so that's where to.
I
What
will
are-
spend 6.
Well, I have 6 too, so maybe we should just spend 3 each.
Okay, we can spend 3 each. Great.
3 each.
Let's split the bill. That's nice.
Yeah. So that means that we're at a +4, I think.
No, she was giving 2.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got a -2 from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
With the +6.
okay. And a 4.
All right. It's like you're ninjas in the night, sneaking through the fields. The definitely National Guardsmen do not see you coming. They are taking a smoke break.
There you go.
I begin to think they're National Guardsmen again.
Yes, exactly. Out here at the jamming station, they are.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to shut this jamming system down in a way that it's not going to be easy for them to turn it back on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Smashy.
smashy, but little, hopefully a little less noisy than that. Basically, pull out a circuit board and snap it, if possible. So, do I need a particular role for that?
Mechanics to figure out the best spot to do the most damage.
Okay. So mechanics and boy, I'm down on mechanics points.
I have some. I have 4.
You have 4. Okay.
Yeah, I could do it.
Yeah. So how about what's more important is getting the signal out. So let me just burn my mechanics point to just knock it out.
Okay, do it.
Oh damn it. Okay, that makes it a 2.
All right. So you pick something and it just
I can't snap the circuit board.
won't break.
Can I help him?
Yes. Helping smash it would be athletics probably,
Oh.
or
well,
you
I mean,
could
I
roll
Oh, so
mechanics.
we could just use
Just
athletics.
break it.
Yes,
Or you
just
can use
break it.
mechanics to break something else that's also key.
Yeah, that's how I do use
Okay.
mechanics. So I'll spend a point. 7.
All right. So Kenny is breaking stuff, or
Poorly.
not breaking stuff, as the case may be. He's definitely taken out one of the less important pieces of equipment.
No, he's smashing screens.
Yeah. Take that.
That's not how you
Just
do
unplugging
it.
the monitors.
Yeah.
And Jeff just walks past and ends one of the central jammers, and it's sort of like a cascading failure as all of them begin to fail. There is some beeping though that's probably going to alert those guards of your presence.
Can we pull the power on it, or I guess
Yes.
that's not helping? Okay, so
Yeah.
try and pull the power.
Plus, we need to get a transmission out.
Yep.
Also known as a text message.
Well, no. I think we need to get more than just a text message. Is just going to be a crank. Like nobody's going to pay attention.
Send the
We need-
video file.
We need a video file.
Yeah.
I'm going to upload the whole thing, man.
Okay, I'm gonna watch out the window, make sure there's nobody coming.
All right.
Will computer use do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Computer use will work for that.
All right, and I'm burning both of my computer use points on this. I want to make sure we get everything just packeted up out there into the world.
All
You
right.
don't have to roll that one.
Yeah.
So you've been working on the video because it's like a nervous tick for you.
Right.
Anytime it needs to go up, that's like the YouTube life. And so you have the video ready, and right as Jeff ends the signal, and before he's even pulling out the plugs to stop the beeping, you hit upload to YouTube, and it's already perfectly lined up, and you're able to take advantage that no one else is currently trying to access the systems to get full upload speed. So it's up on YouTube, and you start seeing views come in just as Jeff sees something out the little shed that you are inside.
Wow, you actually
somebody
get
approaching
1
us?
I
Gbps.
know.
What was
good
that?
tech.
Somebody approaching?
There is something approaching. It looks like a large bull. It looks mad. And if you could define a sane cow, this cow is not sane. And it is attacking everything in its path and headed towards you.
Yeah, pull out
We've
my-
learned something
pull out
new
my
about
firearm.
fungus.
Yes, we have.
All right. So how does initiative work in this game? We're going to go initiative by athletics skill
Sounds good.
because I don't want to deal with real initiative.
I'm at a 4.
I have an 8.
I also have a 4.
Just what's your athletics at?
Athletics is 8.
8. Okay. Kenny and Huang, you can go first.
Okay, I have no weapon, so I think the best thing is. So, what do we have around here that's going to provide cover from this insane bull?
Aren't we in a shed or something right now?
It's it's more like a tent they've set up.
Okay.
Ah, terrific.
There's a bunch of tables and all the equipment gear. They have a Hummer outside.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, let's get to that. That's probably
Yeah.
our best bet. So, beeline for the Hummer.
Yep, let's do it.
I'm gonna try to get to the Hummer and go for the driver's side so I can start it up.
All right, that's athletics.
It's athletics, and I'm going to burn 4 athletics on it,
All right.
which makes it an 8.
You have left your coworkers in the dust as you
Not my intention, but
Yeah,
you
sure.
just beeline it for the Hummer.
Well, I want to go as well.
All right, and Jeff's going there too.
Yeah,
All right.
so I'll do the same thing. I'll spend 4.
Okay.
10.
All right. You think you're leaving everyone in the desk, but Jeff's there before you.
He's got his seatbelt on.
Fuentes and Adelaide, what do you want to do?
Same.
Yeah.
All right.
Right down to the... Actually, I'm going to spend 2 points
Okay.
and live dangerously. And 4.
All right. You're in the car.
All right, I'm gonna spend 2 as well. For 4.
All right, you all make it to the car. You see the guys who are coming back to inspect the weird beeping coming from the tent, and then they're like, "Why are these people running past us?" And then they see the cow as it runs them down. It's tossing its head. One of them goes flying up in the air as it
Whoa.
gores another one of them, and it seems to be focused on them for a minute. And you are all in a Humvee.
Let's get out of here.
And driving away.
Yes. Far away.
All right. Are you going to head back to the main road, or are you going to go over the fields?
We're in a Humvee. We can go overland.
Yeah.
So I think we should go overland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.
All right.
Do it.
Agreed. All right. So going overland.
Do we have a
Alright.
sense of direction? Is there a GPS unit on the Humvee?
Yeah, definitely. So you can tell which way to go. I always have a hard time because I grew up in a mountain valley, so I always knew which direction was from the mountains, and I just can't imagine living somewhere so flat and not having any point of reference like that. But yes, you can tell which direction is from the GPS in the Humvee.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
Away from town.
Away from town.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, you'll never believe this. We have our community rating already.
Yes.
I'm getting our short URL right now.
Yes.
Oh, do we see the bull anywhere behind us? Did we get?
No, you don't see the bowl behind you.
Oh man, we
Did
didn't
anybody get any footage of the bull?
Wait,
You're the
I'm gonna roll
cameraman.
preparedness.
I was driving.
I'm going to spend 2 points of preparedness.
For your head.
Yes.
mounted,
Your GoPro?
Yes. Damn it. Just a 3.
I mean, you guys were trying to capture all this for the record, so I think it's fair that for a 3 you managed to get at least. It's not the greatest footage, but you have some footage.
It'll be controversial, but
Everyone will claim it's fake.
Yeah.
Except for the people that want to believe.
Exactly.
True believers.
And that's who will be, watching our channel and buying our merch. So who cares?
Right.
The fungus-covered bowl becomes the most popular item in your store.
I survived T-shirts.
Yeah. I can say with that, you guys, you drive into the sunrise, instead of the sunset, leaving the town behind you. Are you communicating anything to the authorities?
There's a National
It's gonna
Guard
be covered
unit
up.
apparently besieging a town. Anonymous phone call.
Yeah, there you go.
I've just been
Alright.
tweeting out the video.
And then-
Yeah.
Let's just we just spread it on social media until and make sure we are tweeting it and retweeting from journalists.
Yeah, and you
Get them to pick it up.
yeah. I mean, you have your geotagged GoPro footage, and just go, hey, at FBI. There,
Right.
at the very least, there are some.
Yeah, there's a mercenary
Yeah.
company out there with some lady claiming to be from the CDC.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think it was CIA.
Probably, yeah.
My guess too.
She's a spook.
All right. So, you are very popular on the news circuit the next couple of weeks. What comes out is that the Baleen Corporation had developed a AMS fertilizer with a proprietary fungus they called F2737. And that was working very well at helping the plants grow. Then when they introduced the fungicide to kill the ergot, it caused instead the ergot and the AMF to hybridize. And so ergot
Oh, scary.
started spreading underground. This sort of, have you heard about those ants, those zombie ants?
Yeah, yeah.
That
I
was sort
thinking
of
about that,
my
yeah.
Cordyceps, yeah.
yeah, that was sort of my inspiration for this. So these people were getting infected several years later because it took so long for the network of fungus to grow underground, especially since they weren't tilling the land very deeply. The town did not blow up, mostly because Baleen Corporation realized the truth is now out there, and murdering a bunch of people is not going to help our PR problem.
Oh, really?
Stupid.
They figured that out?
Yeah. It was going to be a great cover up. No one was going to notice anything, but that didn't go very well.
Once you're in a hole filled with giant fungus, stop digging.
There is currently another version of the F2737 on the market. That's their fertilizer that they're going to have to pull.
Yes, please.
And I would like to know what your series of YouTube videos look like. So what is being told in the stories? What is the epilogue like? How are you framing yourselves in this as the heroes of the story? I mean, you did way more than Serial ever did because you stopped murders.
Right.
And so I want to know all about what happens with true crime in real time as your stars are ascendant.
Well, I think we're very much on the speaking truth to power and uncovering corporate corruption narrative now.
Right.
There you go.
We
And
cast ourselves as going after, white collar crime or governmental crime, corruption.
yes, and there's a lot of interest in that, and I'm sure plenty of money to be had in going after people, and maybe not going after some other people.
Yep.
As a follow-up, what did they find a treatment for the people in the town? Were they continue to be affected? What was their outcome?
Yeah, so it seems like the fungus was spreading itself through the vomiting, which is why I had you guys roll health when you were getting puked on. So the treatments turned out to be a very intensive dose of antifungals. So they were hospitalized. They have a lot of blood work done, the whole city, but they are able to clear it up in everyone there.
It would be nice to go back to the town eventually and do a retrospective, like about a year later, and kind of get interviews from the townsfolk.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Oh, and we want to make sure that we get more footage of what's the CEO's name?
Martha Livingston.
Martha Livingston.
Martha Livingston's house, and see how it looks now.
It definitely is no longer being upkept and has in fact been graffitied a lot.
Oh, wow.
That's
Okay.
a perfect before and after.
Adelaide's gonna shift her studies and into fungus in general, and add to the videos like a lot of like very scientific sounding talk about everything that she discovered while working with the doctor.
All right, yeah, you get a lot of recognition from mycologists, and you have a certain cachet with them, and a lot of people want to have you on as like a science educator as well.
That'll pay bills.
Yeah,
Cool.
you might even move past true crime in real time. You'll at least have a career afterwards. You'll Bill Nye it up. So
There we go.
Oh, my.
You can start your own channel as a
Yeah.
side gig.
Nice.
I like
all
it.
right. Anything else?
We didn't die.
Yeah, I was going.
We did.
Yay.
There was a helicopter full of Baleen mercenaries who were gonna go after you, but you guys snuck around enough that they didn't know where you were. So all I could throw at you was the cow. So good job.
It was all those camouflage shirts.
Yeah.
I almost said we should dig into the ground when we were at the house and we saw the prized tomatoes. I was thinking, like, should we dig underground to see if the fungus is? Because you said it went deep.
Mhm.
Can you actually see it? Is it that big?
No, I don't think it's that. I think when it's like extending as roots, you can see it, like very like thin, fine roots. But usually it's growing on the outside of them.
Okay.
But yeah.
You have to know what to look for then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was picturing like a superorganism kind of just
Oh.
like,
Yeah.
there's like
Yeah.
a layer of fungus that goes, like,
Yeah.
well, not necessarily,
Follows
but just
the
like,
stream.
it just goes like, 8 centimeters down, there's fungus
Oh,
everywhere
yeah,
in the
yeah.
whole town.
Oh yeah, it's not like that giant fungal colony thing in Oregon. That's
Yeah.
super
Oh,
creepy.
Right, that's what was in my head.
No, it's definitely like that. It's another thing I was drawing inspiration from.
That thing's horrifying to me. It's like the largest living organism in the world.
Yeah. Fascinating world of fungus.
So that has been Fear Itself at live at Big Bad Con. Around the table, we've had
Gennaro, and playing Jeff Huang.
this is Acer playing Doug Fuentes.
Veronica, I was playing Adeline Dubois.
Peter, I was playing Kenny Baumer.
This is Megan. I was your GM. I actually wrote this scenario for Cypher System, and you can buy it for Cypher System on Drive-Thru RPG. It's called What Lives Must Feed, and if you email me after buying it, I will give you the conversion notes to Fear itself if you want. Thank you very much for watching us, and thank you everyone for agreeing to stream with us at a convention. It was really great playing with you and having you on with us. And also thank you to our wonderful people who are managing the stream for us.
Yay!
Yes, thank you in particular because Megan spends so much time agonizing over the stream. It's amazing to just
not
be
have
able
to do
play.
it.
And would you folks like to pitch anything social media wise or web content wise?
Nope.
Don't have
All
anything.
right.
Sorry.
Thank you for a wonderful experience.
Oh
Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you.
Thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed watching and or listening, and will join us again soon. Until then, this is TRF signing off.
Bye.
Yay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.